Welcome back. Well, yes, it's the BVN that is up next. And yes, you can send your questions as well. We'll welcome them. Well, joined now, starting from my left, we've got Mr. Sheyi Ademosun, who is the project manager, BVN Project, Nigeria Interbank Settlement Systems, PLC. Thank you for coming on. And then on my right, we've got Mr. Dipo Fatokun, who is the Director of Banking and Payment System Department of the CBN. Thank you for coming on as well.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Let me start with you, Mr. Fatokun, about this BVN. You will have people who say, yes, we've done the Know Your Customer and several other identification processes. Why do we need the BVN?
Well, thank you very much. We need the BVN because all the identification, the means of identification that we have been using, none of them is foolproof. For example, let's take the driver's license. We know that some people have up to 3, 4, 5 driver's licenses with different names. The same thing for international passport and all other forms. So you have seen situations where somebody will go to a bank to open an account and it will be Sheyi Fatokun. He will provide a driver's license and it will be captured as such. And he will go to another bank, the same person, and it will be Ugochukwu Anore. And he will supply another driver's license to back up his identification, and he will be captured. So what are the problems related to this? The problem is that a single person may have multiple accounts in various banks bearing different names. So if anything happens, so you cannot pin him down.
You know, that same person to be able to have several passports using different names cannot affect the BVN.
Definitely, because this is linked to your biometrics.
Yeah, but we do biometrics with international
So
passports.
how does one person have multiple ones if you have your biometrics?
Well, the server of those other means is not as unique as the server of the BVN. And I'm sure by the time Sheyi speaks to you, he will tell you the unique features that makes it impossible for anybody to get his biometrics duplicated on the server.
So that's the basic reason why the CBN introduced the BVN?
Yes, the basic reason, unique identifier. But you know, in the banking industry, unique identification is very, very key. Very, very key, because if I'm taking a loan from a bank and I should repay, I should have that identity that will make the bank to trace me in the banking industry, such that I won't take a loan from bank A, knowing fully well that the identity I've submitted is wrong. Then I abandon the loan, go to bank B, open a different account, take a loan, abandon it, and things like that. And of course, also the issue of fraud. Because if I am who I am not, then I can easily commit fraud and get away. And you know the impact of that on the banking industry and on other bank customers. So because of this, we saw the need to have a unique identification so that the banks can know who their customers are. If I claim to be Dipo, I am Dipo and no other person.
Okay, so many people are interested in this BVN because, yes, there were deadlines, you need to do this, or you have restrictions on your account, and he's trying to tell us, you know, some of the benefits. We'll talk more about the benefits, but let's talk about what happened after last week, Saturday. Because, like, I think the first few days, about 15 million Nigerians or more were, you know, barred from having access to their accounts.
Okay.
Some of them will tell you they already have the BVN and they've submitted to their banks, but we're not linked.
All right. Thank you very much. The basic concept of BVN, when it was launched, had 2 steps. The first one is get yourself enrolled, regardless of where you have an account. Just have a BVN. Once you have a BVN, the next thing is you must link that BVN to the account. Now, the challenge you would have in that scenario is, okay, so I have my BVN. I can still run my account, so there's no need for me to push it to the bank. So that's the one side. The other side is, I have my BVN, I've sent it to the bank. I'm hopeful that the bank has done their own part of the job, which is to link my account. So after Saturday, from November 1st, what you found was a situation where those 2 components came into play. Those that have not done anything, they've not got in touch with their banks, the banks froze them. Those that went to the bank with the BVN ab initio, now that the bank has not linked, the banks froze them.
Who's culpable in that case?
Who should we sue?
Who should we sue? That's a very technical issue, and it's your word against my own.
Okay, in terms of without suing,
Yeah.
who is culpable?
We need to talk to the banks to find out if Sheyi actually was there, because Sheyi can claim he was there, but he didn't show up.
Even when you fill the form?
I agree. So if I fill a form and there's proof that a form was filled, then obviously the bank will be culpable.
If you've been given your number.
If you've been given a number and you did not go.
No, if you can't. How do you get a number if you don't go to register?
No,
I'm saying that
if
to
you've
me.
registered earlier,
Yes.
then perhaps you have 2 accounts. That's what we're talking
Yes.
about. Yeah.
We're talking
So
about
you
linking.
need to take it to the other bank too.
Okay, but if I had registered, I got my BVN from the bank, and my account is restricted, CBN can come in there. Who's responsible? I mean, should my account be restricted if I've registered?
Let's be factual. In any system, there could be teething problems. There is no doubt about it. But what really makes the difference is how quickly are you able to overcome those teething problems and get things on the go. It's not impossible that we may have few banks who may have maybe little technology issue on Monday or Tuesday. But I'm sure by now all those issues will have been resolved because we've been engaging with them. So, and it's also true and possible, just as Sheyi said, that if you have about 6 bank accounts, or you have accounts in, let me say, 6 banks, it's possible you may have linked 3 or 4. Because it was not really compulsory then, you may think that you have linked all. It's not impossible.
I understand that, Mr. Fatokun, but okay, let me not assume that you're trying to protect the banks now. Because if your account has been linked, no, not even linked, if you have just one account, and you've gone to do your registration, they send you your BVN, because that's the complaint that a lot of people have, and your account is restricted. Somebody is responsible.
Okay, thank you. Like he said, there are 2 stages. That you have registered is not the same thing as linking your account. Exactly. When you register, no, that's the truth, and that is the message we sent out there. When you register, you have your BVN.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that it is not compulsory for you to go to your bank to register. You can register in any bank. And once you register, that SMS, that phone number that you use for the registration will receive the number. So the next stage is whether you register in your bank or you register in any other bank. For example, I work with CBN and I registered in Central Bank. And you know that Central Bank does not maintain individual accounts. So I couldn't have opened an account in CBN. I linked it with the bank where I have my account. So once you have registered, you have your BVN, you should also do the second stage, which is the process of linking.
What I'm talking about is those who have done all the stages. This chap had just one account.
Okay.
He's done the registration. He went there, did his biometrics. They gave him his BVN. And then his account is restricted. And there are many others who went to use the ATM. They couldn't because they had emergencies. Their accounts were restricted. So who's responsible for that?
Yes, like I said, it is not impossible to have teething problems in a new system like this. I'm not denying that. But like I said also, what is important is that when such problems come to the surface, how quickly are we able to resolve them?
Okay, but the thing about that is this, because yes, we're supposed to register. If we don't register, we bear the consequences. So if the banks err, why don't they face the consequences too?
Oh, definitely, we have engaged them. And if we find that any bank is negligent, of course, they will face the penalties. Because it's a project for the bankers committee, really. They contributed heavily to make this project work. Not only in not only financial contributions, but even human resources.
Okay, now,
so if a bank is negligent, such a bank will definitely face the wrath of the law, so to say.
Mr. Ademosun, some people, the deadline, October 31st, is gone. Okay, I've not registered for my BVN. What should I do?
All right. I'm sure you must have received an SMS or an email from your bank. So the first thing is your account is in post no debit, meaning you cannot withdraw. But Sheyi can drop money into your account. What you need to do there is go...
You never miss that part. You can always drop money, but you can't get it out.
All right. We need to keep your account functional, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know.
And protect you too.
Protect you. So, but the whole idea really, and talking seriously now, is you need to get the BVN. I'm sure if you go to your branch, this enrollment center in your branch is still available. Note, what we have said lapses by 31st October is if you have not linked your BVN to the account. We did not say enrollment is over. Enrollment will continue because Sheyi wants to open an account in another bank and he doesn't have a BVN today.
When you say linked, all we're supposed to do is just to send the number to the bank, isn't it? Are we the ones to do the linking?
No. Exactly. So your job as the customer is to provide the BVN to the bank. However you provide it, either through SMS, email, letter, via
Internet
ATM,
platform.
internet banking, or you go in physically. Whichever way. It's the bank's responsibility to now link that BVN to the account. But most of the challenges I'd also like to throw up here is when Sheyi enrolled, he enrolled as Dipo Fatokun, like my director has said. In the bank, his name is Sheyi Mushroom. So banks will begin to struggle. There's absolutely no way they're going to link that because there's a circular from the central bank to all the banks that what we're about is not just churning out account numbers or identification numbers. What we're about is to say we know Sheyi in this industry. So when Sheyi commits a crime, a fraud, right, we can pin him down. It's much more than the normal KYC processes that we've had before now, where as a bank, I go to Sheyi's house, I verify his house address, utility bills, and all that. It's more than that.